Hey guys, Lexus Driver here. Welcome to a new video. Now on this video, this is a follow-up video on the boarding school AI generated images from Google Gemini. I also have some from Microsoft CoPilot AI generated images just as a test run because unfortunately, when I was trying to get a good image for the for the last apex predator, the mountain lion, I ran out of prompts, or AKA limits. This is the best I can show you guys. But the rest are okay. Just the mountain lion was the one that I'm still working on. So what I have here, this is still a boarding school in Washington D.C. So as you can see here, the northwestern gray wolf, the southern African lion, the Arctic wolf, the snow leopard, the red wolf, and finally the mountain lion. But this one is, I'm still working on this one, so this is going to be deleted and going to be revised because I've reached my limit, so this is as far as I can go. And also for the Microsoft Copilot, this is what I have here. This one is the summer. This is the spring summer um, school uniforms. This one is for the club uniforms. I know this looks like, similar to Beastars, but just to make it my own, I swapped the colors. The t-shirt still remains the same color, white. I just swapped the colors for the pants and shorts. I went with the chinos for the male and the shorts for the female. And the shoes still the same, but it's a lot like Beastars, but just to make it my own, I made a few changes. And also to make it further my own, to for that a lot of inspiration of Beastars. This is the PE uniform for the students. Same, white T-shirt, but gray sweatpants for the boys, and gray shorts for the girls. Okay, enough about that. So the when I was having fun with Google Gemini of making these AI generated images, the first time I did this stuff, I haven't thought of I haven't thought of a good boarding school name, a good fictional boarding school name. So I had some help with AI, but also I had to be very creative at the same time, looking through a map of Washington, D.C., because this is a boarding school in Washington, D.C. So there were so many names, and also there were like three names to make sure it's called a school. One is simply saying the word school. Another is academy, and the third one is institution. This one I went with saying academy because I the reason I chose Academy, because just to show that just to show my love and being a huge fan of Beastars, I went with the word Academy. So Academy, Academy is like, this word, you be hearing this a lot in educational institutions. But if we're talking about police academies, that's a whole different level. This one here, I just simply say academy. Now, for the name of the fictional boarding school name, I went with this name, the Potomac Columbia Academy. Now, I know I could have delved deeper, but I wanted to make it as simple as possible, so that way it's like easy to understand. So this is the fictional name of the fictional boarding school. I went with Potomac Columbia Academy. Now, Potomac, that's actually the name of the river in Washington D.C. Columbia, that's actually what the C stands for in D.C., District of Columbia. So Potomac Columbia Academy. So That's how I come up. That's the simple and brilliant fictional boarding school name in Washington D.C. The uniforms right here. So these uniforms and these uniforms. So what they're wearing right here, and also this applies to the others. What they're wearing right here. These are what they wear. These are what the students wear during the um, these are what the students wear during the fall and winter seasons. So, because fall and winter it gets really cold, so it's good to have the students wearing comfortable clothes to stay warm in the fall and winter. If it's really DC, since it snows. I might feature them wearing jackets, but this one here, this is like for the fall winter attire. So for fall and winter, this is what their school uniforms look like. For the males, um, a white dress shirt, a midnight blue four and hand knot necktie, uh, a light gray uh, a light gray vest, a charcoal gray blazer, charcoal gray pants, and light brown rounded toe shoes. For the females, it's a white long sleeve collared blouse, a red French knot scarf, charcoal gray knee length skirt, white socks, and black Mary Jane shoes. So these are what the female students wear for their fall winter school uniforms. So the one on the left, that's the male. The one on the left, that's the boys' school uniform, and the one on the right is the female school uniform. But they would only wear this during the fall and winter seasons. Same with this, the Southern African lion. This one, the Arctic wolf. Also this one, the snow leopard, red wolf, and finally the mountain lion. Now, this one right here, this one is what the students wear during the spring and summer seasons. The male student ditches the white dress shirt, necktie, vest, and blazer, and this one the male student is wearing a red polo shirt. Now the reason I chose red, typically crimson red. I got this idea from looking at the flag of DC. There were only two colors, white and red. So I just went with red because I know that that red color. It's that crimson red color. They use the same on the flag of Washington D.C. But the only thing that stays the same are the only thing that stays the same are the pants and the shoes. And for the female spring summer school uniform, boarding spring summer boarding school uniform, the female student is same thing. She's wearing a blouse, except it's short sleeve. There's still a collar. Um, the the scarf, she's wearing a blue um, a midnight blue French knot scarf, instead of a red one. Yeah, that's for the summer. That's for the winter. What am I saying? That's for the winter. But this one, the midnight blue French knot scarf, that's for the spring summer. So that's the only change. The rest stays the same. Uh, um, charcoal gray knee length skirt, white shoes, and black Mary Jane shoes. So this is the this is the spring summer boarding school uniform. And this one I have here. This one is for the this is for the clubs this is for the students who have this is for the students who are in clubs. Um, it's similar to Beastars, but like I said, to make it my own, uh, I made some few changes. The shoes, still look identical to similar to that of Beastars, but to really make it my own, um, I just changed the color. Most remains the same, but one thing I did was just change the color. So um, the male the male club uniform is both the male and female wear white T-shirts. For the male, he's wearing a blue chinos. For the female, blue shorts. And they're both wearing same colored shoes, um, silver gray shoes. Like I said, similar to Beastars, but the only thing I changed is just the color. Now, finally, the PE the boarding school PE uniform, because when I watched Beastars, they only showed three uniforms. Two is typically like for every day when they're in classes. The male the female and male uniforms, typically those for classes, and then there's the club uniform in Beastars. That they only showed three uniforms. I decided to add one more uniform to complete the set. This one is for students who are in PE class. So for the male and female students, they still wear the same white T-shirt. And for the males, they wear sweatpants. In this case, it's gray sweatpants. For the females, it's gray shorts, and they both wear blue running shoes. So the only difference is, the only difference in their uniforms, the male is wearing sweatpants. The female is wearing shorts. So there you go. I completed the set. Also, these three right here. These are all from Microsoft CoPilot, because I ran out of prompts. I've reached my limit in Google Gemini, so I decided to go with Microsoft CoPilot to give it a test run. Once the limit resets, I'll think of trying to put this in Google Gemini once I get this fixed. But overall, I had a lot of fun. Making these updates, and I know it sounds pretty weird, having a boarding school in Washington D.C. But Washington D.C. being the capital city, I always like to picture a good place in Washington D.C. Where they would fit this where they would fit this boarding school. So once again, the fictional name for this fictional boarding school is called Potomac Columbia Academy. So Potomac, named after the Potomac River, and Columbia, named after D.C., District of Columbia. But let me know in the comments down below. What are your thoughts about this fictional boarding school? Like I said, how I came up with this idea of having a fictional boarding school. I got this idea from watching Beastars, and since Beastars takes place in Japan, I wanted to have a boarding school set in the United States, and I picked Washington D.C. I know I could have picked another city, but I wanted to pick Washington D.C. as like a test run. I mean, I can keep the fact of having a boarding school in Washington D.C. When I come up with with a good storytelling and a good setting, set with anthropomorphic characters. That's the one thing I can keep in mind when I make these AI generated images from Google Gemini. And it's also a great way for me to make some great ideas of how I can make a good fictional story animation, animation series or movie. I'm gonna say a series because there's more into this. Um, so this one here, I can picture like an adult. I wouldn't say adult, but something for the for older teenagers and young adults to watch. Um, Animation set in Washington D.C. in a fictional boarding school. Well, in a boarding school that's fictional. Like this is fiction. This boarding school is located in Washington D.C. and yeah. So yeah, still gathering so many ideas. Still in its infancy, but overall, I had a lot of fun with these. I had a lot of fun making these AI generated images on Google Gemini, and also for the last three, the Microsoft CoPilot. Anyway, guys, that's all I have this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, and be sure you hit that notification bell so you can stay updated on new content I have on my YouTube channel. But anyway, guys, that's all I have this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye, and have a good day, everybody.